Hello, welcome. All right, Seth, the floor is yours, my man.
What's up? First of all, thank you for this opportunity. We don't travel very much. I like where I live and I'd like to stay there, so we don't even travel very much in the States. I know meeting a lot of you guys over the weekend, I got a feeling of why you guys like me, and it's the same reason back home. I'm just real. I don't bullshit you. I'm not going to pull any punches. I'll get into a little bit of like how I got to be this person. But the videos that seemed to catch everybody's ears was the steroids, drugs, and life. That seems to be the video that everybody was like, oh fuck, this is gonna be something that not many other IFBB pros talk about. Meanwhile, that was the question that every person had, including myself, like growing up. So we'll start there. Growing up, like I wanted to be an IFBB pro. That was my fucking dream. My parents told me I could be anything in the world, made me feel like I was special, thinking, oh man, like I'm actually gonna do something great with my life. And then I was about 16, 17 years old, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna become an IFBB pro. And then I was like, but I think they have to take steroids. And then whenever I get an opportunity to talk to an IFBB pro to show, the Mr. Pittsburgh, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Mr. Pittsburgh show was like the biggest amateur show in the United States, and it was right in my hometown. Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, everybody's there, and when the subject was brought up, nobody took them. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is nobody being honest? Because I know you motherfuckers take them. And I just want to know, like, what do I have to do this? So at that point, like, I realized there was a hole, but nobody wanted to talk about it, so that's where the whole journey of me starting, and from the steroids, drugs, and life videos that you guys watch, hear me say, personal decision, research. And then as I continued my journey into bodybuilding, I realized that everybody was told what the fuck to say. Everybody has someone over top of them telling them what to say, what to do, who to be, who not to be, what to do. And I was like, well, I have an authority problem. I don't fucking like anybody telling me what to do. But the situation that I got myself into was, I started growing up, I went to college, I had a child in college, all the shit. Me having a kid in college was a big wake-up call. Kind of thought I would have to put my dreams on hold, but I didn't. I pushed through it. So, and my ex-wife at the time and I, we pretty much went anywhere throughout the United States to make sure we had work and money. But I didn't want to give up on my dream. So, money was always tight, but I still wanted to be a pro bodybuilder. So when I was 24, I finally bucked up and wanted to be a pro and started competing. I turned professional in the same year I started competing, 2009, won the Pittsburgh show, and then won nationals. And at that time, I was broker than a motherfucker. No money, like a couple grand, living paycheck to paycheck. But I knew if I won that show, I would turn pro and I'd get a sponsorship. And at the time, I was not this person. You start breaking whenever you start like hurting for money, you start hurting for things. You start being like, I'll do anything. And at that point, that's whenever I got a sponsorship with Muscle Tech. They were paying me $3,700 a month. And then at that time, I also got $1,000 a month from Muscular Development, the fitness magazine. So like, all right, man, I go from making not a lot of money to almost $5 grand a month, and I had another job and I was working. So at that time also, I realized that I'm gonna get told what to do. And I didn't really like it, but I didn't have a fucking choice. So I was that guy. I was the clean cut white kid, is what I said. Who buys supplements in the US? Clean cut white kids. That was what it was, so that's who I became. You didn't hear me ever get out of line too much, you didn't hear me swear, but meanwhile, that's how I grew up. And I was like, okay, so that's what I did. I went through it all, and at the time, shit, home life started having a hard time. Money was always an issue, and I was competing, and anybody in here compete? It fucks with your relationships a little bit, huh? Makes things suck at home a little bit. And that's the part where I was like, okay, like I was always trying to juggle things. And in life, you just learn through fucking up. The way I learned was just through making mistakes. So, long story short with all that, in 2013, I decided to step away from the industry. 2013 said, I am fucking done. I am eaten up. I do not want to be any part of the fitness industry. I'm tired of being told what to do. I don't like anybody. I felt like I didn't belong anymore. My home life was really, really bad at the time as well, so I said, fuck it. I'm gonna go live a normal life. So I did. Went back and I went and got a job. We're doing some landscape work. I ended up doing opening up my own small little landscape company, building walls, cutting grass, doing manly shit, getting pretty much what I did growing up. I was doing anything to make it, but something was always missing. And then after that, I got tired of doing that with my life as well. I was like, fuck it, I don't like doing hard labor every day. And then I have a safety degree, which I went to high school, I went to college for, safety sciences. So in the United States, it's just regulations. Construction regulations, road construction regulations, manufacturing. So I worked for a fella for about 2 years doing that, and while I was working for him, I was like, I'm really not happy. I just wasn't happy. And at that point, that's whenever I went through some rough times with my ex, and we split up, and I was like, I want to get back into bodybuilding. I missed it. I was like, I want to go back because I felt like that's where I belonged. It made me who I was. I've been training since I was 13 years old. I started lifting weights. I was a fat kid growing up, and lifting weights made me feel good about myself. And I said, okay, so if I come back to this shitbag of an industry in which I fucking love this industry, I'm gonna do it my way. I'm not gonna need anybody. I don't want anybody telling me what the fuck to do. I wanna be me. And when I do it, I wanna give back. I wanna give real raw information and not pull any punches on it like it's done. I want to be me, and I want to do it my way, as if I was 17 years old looking for information. I want to be able to look you dead in the eyes, and if you ask me a question, I don't give a fuck if a camera's on me or who's behind me, I'm going to tell you the truth. And if anybody doesn't like it, they can kiss my ass. That's a pretty big fucking bold move, dude. That's some serious shit. But that's kind of how I was raised. My mom, sweetest woman in the world, raised 4 children. My dad owns a company. He's been owning the company since he was 19 years old. He's owned it for almost 40-some years. My mom loved me, raised me to be a really sweet, good-hearted person. And my dad took over when I was 13. He told me just to shut the fuck up and go to work. So that was my mentality and everything that I brought in, and I wanted to do that when I came back. I wanted to be the all-American roughneck. I wanted to be somebody that just is an honest, hard-working motherfucker. That's what the world needs. It needs good people that are willing to work. It needs the mesh of both my mom and my dad. It needs people that have passion, have love for what they want to do, but also is willing to fucking punch someone in the face and tell them to fuck themselves. Need both of that. And that's kind of where the whole mindset of the all-American roughneck came from. It came from just being a good-hearted family man, the all-American family man. Because in America, the whole thing was just living the all-American dream. Having a nice house, nice family, going to a job, enjoying a vacation, having nice things for your family at Christmas time, at holidays, all that stuff. That's all it was. And then it turned into the fucking shitbox that it is. Everybody started losing sight of the good shit in life. So, in this industry, I had a platform. As a professional bodybuilder, I'm able to stand somewhere and have I knew I could create a YouTube channel. And at that point, I wanted to give real information. So coming back into it, I worked with Blackstone. I was like, okay, I know Aaron and PJ. I was like, let's start working together because I took their supplements. I didn't know them very well. I knew them well enough to give them a call and say I was coming back. When I came back into the industry, this is the guy you saw. The bearded guy that just doesn't give a fuck. Because I wanted to start giving back to something that never was. It wasn't there. And it was a shock to the industry. That was kind of our goal. And over the years, we built everything up. And now to this, from then to now, it has been nothing but a learning experience for me to make sure that I'm able to give high quality supplements. I'm able to make people feel something when they watch the videos. Whenever you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the truth. So ever since I came back into the industry, that has been my fucking goal. And right now, we're starting to have a serious impact because I'm halfway around the fucking world and this room is full of people. If you would have asked me that 3 years ago when I started, I don't think I would have believed you. So that's now being in this situation, I know the severity of it, I know the weight of it, and I know that we're having a real impact. And that's why, that's why I travel around the world to do this, so that we can have these. We can do these seminars. So, I mean, to be able to say like where I came from and my goal, I'm achieving it. And if anybody, there has been quite a few people that didn't like what I had to say, that don't like how I handle myself, and you can imagine my response. Are you gonna tell them to go fuck themselves? But with that, some people take it, maybe that's threatening. I might be threatening them or making them feel uncomfortable. Well, good motherfucker, you should be uncomfortable. But nothing I do comes from a bad spot, because my goal in life is to make sure that my daughters have a role model to look up to, and I make my parents proud. So I'm gonna be a good-hearted person, but I'm also not gonna take shit. And that's something that I spread to everybody in this room. The positivity, the no judgment. I'm not judging anybody. Just because I take gear, just because I'm into something, or just because you're into something, if you like turning off and on light switches all day, that's what gets you off. I'm fucking right, man, keep doing it. I'm sure there's some other weirdo on the internet that'll love it too. That's the shit that has made this all possible. It's supposed to be uplifting. You're supposed to feel good, because in life, if you go through a miserable fuck, it's no one's fault but your own. So that's how I look at, that's how I take everything that I do. I'm very appreciative for the position I'm in, but I'm not gonna hold back. I'm gonna make sure that everything we do has that passion, has that feeling that I was raised on. And it also has that little bit of spice in it to make sure that you guys understand that you can do the same. Now, with that being said, some people also think that they're similar to me in a sense, and they can be like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna come at anybody and tell them that, you're dumb, you're stupid, just for liking something. If you're doing something stupid, then you should be told. Just like your old man would tell you, you're doing dumb shit. I told my 11-year-old, don't do dumb shit. But I don't want people to go out in a malicious fashion and put people down to lift themselves up. I don't want them to be like, oh, well, he's an asshole anyway. I can tell him he's an asshole. Maybe you should just not deal with him, And in the industry still today, and even in life in general, if someone is causing a problem or negative or anything in your life that's trying to put you down or tell you it's stupid, maybe don't go at them or cause a confrontation, maybe just remove them. And that's also what I tell people to do with me. Like, if you don't like me or like the channel, remove me. All you have to do is stop watching or not show up. So it's the same thing for people in your life. And I've had to do that in my life with people that have been actually very close to me. I've had to remove them. So, it takes time. They're gonna make mistakes, like me. Some will be small, some will be fucking enormous. Some will be really scary, you'll lose everything. And sometimes things will really work out. But that's life. And that's why me being in the position and me being willing to be open and honest with everything kind of creates something that hasn't been there. So, with everything we had, little backstory, about me getting to this point with All American Roughneck, my heterosexual life mate Bob back there. He's the backup. As you can see, we look similar. But it went from being he and I, and Bob and I, when we started All American Roughneck, we had no fucking money. No money. I started All American Roughneck with $2,200. Had nothing. I was like, I just want to do it and make it cool and give something, because me, I wanted to, if I was ever to own a company, I'd want to know the person that I'm buying it from, not a huge conglomerate. I want to feel good about it. I want it to make me feel something. Like if I see a guy that was wearing back home Carhartt, I don't know if you guys have Carhartt work clothes here. You guys, well, Carhartt back home, if I see a guy in a Carhartt jacket, I'm like, you fucking work outside. You definitely work out in the cold. And that goes, but I wanted someone to be able to see an All-American Roughneck hat, an All-American Roughneck shirt, and know that it connected back to me. A hard-working motherfucker that stands for something. Do a good job. You fuck up, it's okay. Don't make the same mistake again. So, but with All American Roughneck, Bob and I have been doing that for 2 years. we were doing it for 3, but in 2 years, 2.5 years in, we wanted to start doing our own thing on the supplement side as well. At that point, really didn't know too much. I knew all about supplements. I fucking took every single one under the sun, but wanted to create my own. And working with the companies, there's things that I really liked that they did, and then things that I really hated that they did. And at that point, that's when I met Mike and his business partner, and we decided to create Action Select Supplements. And the whole thing behind that is just like myself, and I reiterated to Mike and Pat, our other partner, he's back home, the first meeting between us was very, very intense. I was like, you don't fuck me over and I won't fuck you over, but if you fuck me over, I'm gonna make your life a living hell. And they're like, cool, we won't do that. So we were good, but it's that type of mentality that we had to have because we all knew the severity of what this could be. Why do I believe in everything that I do? Because I'm the one doing it. Because I want to be able to take them. And the way I was raised in my environment, you don't do those things. In an environment, in an industry where some of that stuff occurs, I wasn't going to have it. I was done with it. And that's why everything that you see and everything that I will come out with and all the videos that we continue to produce, and I don't know how long they'll be around, hopefully a good bit, but it'll be nothing but the same. Because you have to hold yourself to that standard, because when some of you guys and other people ask me, like, what motivates me? What keeps me going every single fucking day, even though I've already achieved some of the dreams that I wanted to achieve? It's this room. It's my 2 kids. It's my parents. Like, if I can't appreciate what I'm doing, why the fuck am I doing it, man? Like, whenever I go and we put out a video on chest training, which, you know, we had Bob there, Shane, everybody, and the editing, everything that we put into it, and then all I have to do is look at the fucking 1,000 comments of everybody, how that workout made their day better. How's that not motivating? Thousands upon thousands of people watching my stuff, feeling something, getting something out of it, doing it, and then going back to their home and like feeling good. That positive energy completely transfers back into your household. All of it does. I mean, if that is some intense shit when you stop and think about it. You know, so that was our goal, and we've been achieving it, and I can't say nothing but thank you to everybody in this room for making those things happen for us, and it's going to continue to get bigger because of people like yourselves. Because your lives are, you know, everybody in your life. I mean, I know if I'm an asshole at home, my woman doesn't like me, my kids want to stay away from me, and business isn't that good. So I know how important I am to the people in my house, just as you guys should recognize how important you are to the people in your lives as well. You're like the pinnacle of it. How many people in here, if they're an asshole, everything's wonderful at home? That don't happen. So that's why whenever we put a video out and everybody's really fucking excited and so pumped to watch it, I'm like, man, this is awesome. So I appreciate everything you guys do for us just as much as we do for you. So I guess at this time, I'm open for questions. Anything you want to ask, whether it's training, supplementation, nutrition, gear talk, whatever. And that's the whole thing here too. Don't be afraid to ask something because someone's in here or anything like that. Fire.
You know,
oh, okay.
Cycle and that sort of.
So, okay, yeah, okay, coaches. Yeah, we'll cover coaches. So, Hani and I, we had a great relationship. We still do. You know, we're still friends. He never made me do anything that he wouldn't have anybody else do. Listen, this industry, being a professional bodybuilder and competing, you are a fucking psychopath. Every guy that you see compete has a fucking screw or two loose. Like a lot. Like you are a madman. And you have to be. I mean, look, everybody here is loving bodybuilding because fucking psychos. Look at the dude on stage. Like 260 fucking pounds in shape. Everybody in here works pretty hard in the gym. But it's like, man, not so. At that point in my life, I would eat white dog shit if you told me to. I'd have fucking cooked it down and stuck it in me too if you told me it got me huge. So with Hani, he never had me do anything too crazy. But with coaches in general, what happens is, you know, I was young whenever I was bad-mouthing him about shit happening. He had me do some things that, you know, at the time I was looking for someone to blame. Whenever the first time something bad happens to you, you really don't handle it very well. I didn't handle it well. Looking back at it, I would have handled it a lot better. But when that happened, it was the first time I lost, first time things went south, all this shit. It's like, fuck him, it's his fault. So I'm the one doing it. So, but that, what happened was, I didn't know any better on anything. So when I was at Nationals, my body fat percent, well, it was under 2%. I was shredded, dry. My kidneys hurt. They were sore. You know, I'm like, fuck, this is really bad. And then all that happens is, I mean, that's part of bodybuilding. And everybody has a weakness. You know, something's going to happen when you're taking these things. And for me, I know personally that like my kidneys are my weakness, the dehydration process. But like, sure did look good on stage. One of my fucking pro partners, I'm here because of it. But yeah, no, he's a tremendous person. He's a really good dude. He's one of the reasons that I am in this position today. But it was fucking long. Very much so. What else? Go ahead.
I've been watching your vlogs and all that kind of stuff for a while. Do you think you'll do two things? One, will you start going shopping and filming ladies with the penis-shaped objects, all that kind of stuff?
Wait. Oh, shopping, the cucumbers.
Yeah. And will you do more like Rand and Raven stuff as well?
So that's where we're at right now. This is Bob and I have been talking about it. The Rant and Raven is going to come back. Because that's like I just had here. It was intense, it was really quiet. You know, everybody was paying attention very intently. Just like the videos that have hundreds of thousands of views. So we are going to be doing more Rant and Ravens. The vlogs are something that we're working on. You know, Shane has everything here on lockdown. But now that we're done getting ready for the Arnold, Ohio, that was like a big project for us. It was the first time we ever had our own booth, you know, with Axe and Sledge. And then we came out here, so when we get home, we have a list of things and the Rant and Ravens and the whole shopping thing. And so, you know, we all have these dumb thoughts of being, you know, there's a few ladies in here and you're all surrounded by perverted assholes. So like the whole thing, like whenever you see penis-shaped objects at the market, and it's like, I don't know, I just, as a teenager, I picked up one and all, and it was just funny as shit. So those are the things that like, I guess, they're just, as my fiance says, I don't think before I speak with them, and they just come out, and then it turns out to be like funny shit. And like, yeah, it's supposed to, I would consider myself like, along the lines like dirty comedians. You know how like, I guess, I don't know, like Richard Pryor, does anybody know Richard Pryor, Chris Rock? It's like everybody knows who he is, and they're funny as hell, but like, can't like listen to it in the morning on a morning talk show. It's like what you say at nighttime after a few drinks. So that's about it. What else? Go.
Just wanted to see what you thought about like the rest of the supplement industry in regards to like brands not having any of the, like the compound solution ingredients in them or any patented ingredients, and how you reckon I guess they're going.
So that was one of the reasons I created my own brand.
Yeah.
I want to do it my way. The manufacturing side I wasn't very aware of. I knew that it cost a lot of fucking money to do it. So that's why we saved up money and we met good people and made it all happen. But I will say the reason that people don't have patented ingredients is because they're really fucking expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive to make a product like hydraulic, our flagship product. Like that's my baby. That one we've spent a lot of time on, has 5 patented ingredients in there, because you can't skimp on patented ingredients. You can't get any better of quality. So I was like, man, like we should make that part of our company. And then when we sit down and go over numbers and what we have to do to make it, it's like, oh fuck. Okay. And I'm like, so you mean we could make something for like half the price? Yeah, man. I really don't want to do that though. Because I love supplements. I've been taking them since I was, 17, 18 years old. And I've watched them evolve over the years. And like you said, when I was working with Ani, like Demo Day, like, everybody was using a cartilage-based product. Loved it. Problem was, I was like, man, like, I'm fucking 4 scooping things. I'm taking like 6 scoops a day when I'm, in the off season. So that's why we created it like it is. Like I just continued as my knowledge expanded, so does everything else here. And just like everything, but like in business and every single thing in the world, like there's a cost. What do you say? Like cost analysis. What's it worth to you? And me, I'll lose money on margins. I'll make a higher quality product because I want it to be that way. And if it takes me taking a little bit of hit on a margin, fuck it. But the good thing for us is we have outstanding business partners like Mike and Pat that do top-notch work. I mean, we have a hell of a fucking team. I'll put it that way. We can hustle. So that's a benefit for us.
Are you thinking of jumping on stage again?
Fuck.
Longer than expected.
Yeah, I know, I was like waiting for it. So listen, like I said in the beginning, like for as much as a little bit of the shit I was talking about it all in the beginning, like about the industry, I love this place. I love the industry so much. I mean, met a lot of good people. There are some shit bags, but that's like anything in life with competing. So I'll go through stints where I'm like, yeah, I love it. I want to do it. That's what I mean. That's what I grew up dreaming of doing, and I did it. Problem is like as I got older, as I had a little bit of the problems, like it's kind of like I go back and forth. But then yesterday or 2 days ago, when Aaron came by the booth and I saw him, and I'm like, man, that little motherfucker is in it. His head's in it, everything. He has the killer instinct. I took my killer instinct and put it into business, like all of it. So when I think about competing, if you are not in it, to be on the level of Flex Lewis, you know, Derek Lunsford, the guys that are in the 212s that are top upper echelon guys, you will get your fucking breakfast either. You won't even make it to lunch. You know, and that's why I sit here, I'm like, listen, I know I'm good, I know I can be great, but there'll be the point whenever I get and I have to start taking the crazy drugs, and I'll be like, okay, now I'm starting to have some problems sleeping at night. I have 2 beautiful girls, I have 2 thriving companies. I want to travel and I want to come to Australia and eat kangaroo and fuck off and not die. You know, that's kind of where my head is with it all. So I won't say never, because there might be a time when I'm like, all of a sudden my head just goes into a zone. But right now I'm having a lot of fun traveling. This trip has opened my eyes up to all the good that we can do with the company. And come in here and talk to you, because I know for a fact that if I was 6, 8, 10 weeks out from a show trying to have this conversation, it wouldn't go well. I would just kind of be a flat dickhead. Just think about food and drugs and food. That's all it would be. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean? That's kind of the nature of this beast. And I think that that's also why we get to this point where we look at these professionals and like sometimes you guys and other people and myself at times give them shit. Like, why don't you just talk to me about this? And it's because like they're one-track minded right now. One track. They want to fucking win, they want to look nuts, and they want to give you a show. This is an entertainment business. This is not a sport. It's entertaining. Who in here wants to see like a 160-pound guy on stage? Who wants to see fucking Big Rammy, 295 fucking pounds on stage, ripped out of his fucking mind up there freaking out? And it can be bigger. You know, if you saw Ronnie Coleman in his prime, it was the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen. He came to the Pittsburgh, it was like 2001. And I think he was 318 pounds, like they announced him coming out. And you saw him and you're like, holy fuck. But that's what this is. That's why this is such like a cult following of bodybuilding, because it's incredible. You never see this shit. If you were walking down the street normal and you see Ronnie Coleman, you're like, I don't know what the fuck you are, but like, what's going on with you? Like, are you an alien? Like, what happened? And then, you know, then I'm like, and then you start going, wonder if he takes steroids. Nope, I don't think so. So, and that's why, like, you know, whenever I said in the beginning, like how, I was like, why is nobody doing it? And it's because, like, you get one-track minded, and you love what you do so much. Like, you can't be a professional bodybuilder and not be passion-driven. Like, I don't know, you cannot eat fish and asparagus 7 times a day and not, like, have such a goal that you will do anything to get to it. And that's why you have to respect the industry for what it is and be appreciative whenever certain people come along. And just pull as much as you can from every single person possible. Because it's like, for me to be this person, it took me meeting a ton of different people to be able to like gather all this information to become this person that I am in my head. Like my mom being a good-hearted person. You know, she's just such a lovely woman. I don't even know why the fuck she's with my dad. You know, so, and just same for being with him for 40 years. And then him just being so intense, and then meeting people along the way that you are like, boy, did I fucking hate him. Hated that guy. I had to work with him for 5 years. So what good came out of that? What good came out of meeting that asshole or having to work with him for 5 fucking years? You know what good came out of it? You learned what you did not want to be. You learned what you didn't want to be, rather than like try and pull anything good out of it. You follow me with that? Like, that's the shit you gotta remember. Even though you met a dickhead, or a fucking son of a bitch, even if it was your own father, grandfather, mother, whatever, someone that was close to you, there was good to pull out of it, and that good was like, I know what I don't want to be. See, that's you got to pull it from every single person, even the crazies.
What did you find the initial reaction was from the rest of the industry when you started like releasing the videos and talking real shit? Mate?
So Bob and I, whenever we were doing this, I was like, because I had this vision, I had this thing I wanted to do, like I said, and Bob and I have been, you know, he and I really didn't even know each other very well 4 years ago. Like, we still have the pictures of like the first meeting we sat down about designing AAR, and like my thoughts and what we wanted to do. And so the video, the first Steroids, Drugs, and Life video, I was like, you know, I don't do things rehearsed well at all. Like, I'm not good at it. Like, if you handed me a script, I'd be like, the store we went. Like, I'm horrible at it. So like, we realized that trying to sketch out videos. And he's like, fuck it. He's like, dude, I'm just gonna press go, I'm just gonna press play on the camera, and you're gonna talk. That's it. So we did the first Steroids, Drugs, and Life, didn't even know what we were gonna call it. And I was like, hey, I don't even remember like what I said. What happened? Was it good? He's like, yeah, it was good. It was a little intense there for a minute or two, but it was really good. I'm like, awesome. So I watched it, and I'm like, holy fuck, dude. I was like, here we go, like, this is gonna be it. We knew what it was gonna do, because no IFBB pro has ever said it before. And we released it, and there was a few things in there that were just off the wall, perverted, and screwed up. But before that, a lot of people, I was like, should we put this video out? And they were like, don't do it. I said, don't put it out. You're gonna blackball yourself. This won't be good. And I'm like, I think I want to. I want to. So then Bob and I made the decision to press go, and it happened, and it went viral. But in the video, there wasn't anything negative. I don't encourage the use of steroids. Like, it's a big personal choice. I fucked my body up over the years. But that's something that I have to deal with personally every single day of my life for the rest of my life. And in the video, that's what I wanted to say and tell people. There was a few phone calls that got made to people I knew, and they were like, I don't know about this, and they were like, I don't think you want to hear from Seth. That won't be a good phone call for you, because at this point in this industry, all this is a free-for-all because of the internet. You know, and I am an acquired taste. But know that anything that comes from me is not from a negative spot. It comes from passion. And I'm not saying I'm not going to fuck up, but that video was a little rough for a lot of people. I liked it. It was good for them. They needed it. There's a lot of people in this room that can pull the good from it. You don't got to look like me. You don't got to think 100% like me. I just want you to pull the good shit that you can get out of me and put it into your life, so that your people in your life benefit from you being a better person. So, and that's going to go ahead and say as well as, like, you know, like some of the tough shit, like I said about my ex there, that people don't know much about. A lot of people in this room have seen people go down the same path. They get hit with the same stuff, but no one really talks about it because it's hard. And you got to be a comfortable person with yourself. You know, like the joke where I'm like, you know, I'm 5'6", white, and, you know, so what is it? I'm 5'6", white, small bald, small dick, juice head. That was like what a lot of people said. They're like, oh, this guy, you know, he's a dwarf-looking stupid fuck. And I'm like, all right, dude, like, yeah. I can't deny it. I got a red beard, ears kind of stick out. I'm 5'6". I don't know what the fuck to do. I still have to wake up in the morning and go to work. You know, and that's the thing. Like, no matter what someone says about you, you're like, boy, I guess that's what I look like. Fuck, huh? All right, I'm gonna go to bed and wake up and fuck tomorrow up. You gotta be able to pull that good out of every shitty situation.
Just your motivation. So your motivation to just train and all that sort of stuff, is that inbuilt behaviour, or is that just going through hard times and coming out the other side? Is that mucking around with dodgy people and then going, fuck you, I'm going to prove you guys wrong? Or
A little bit of everything. You know, being this, so I just love lifting weights, number one. Like the whole competing thing, like dieting sucks. I like eating. But when it comes to training, bro, if I could, I'd train every day. You just run your body into the ground. But like from a motivation standpoint early on, like there was a lot of people that told me I couldn't be a pro bodybuilder. There was a lot of people that told me that running an apparel company would be really hard. There was a lot of people that told me not to get into supplements. Just like everybody, they tell you that not to do something that's going to be really hard. People probably told Joe he was a fucking idiot for doing what he's doing. Yeah, sure, that's great. Awesome, keep telling me. But, like, I will take what my father taught me and shut the fuck up and go to work. If I wanted it, I saw it, and I would do anything to make it happen. Like, there's countless times that, you know, whenever I was a safety consultant, AAR, competing, or not competing, but training and all that, and I slept a couple hours a night. It was wild. But those are the things that, like, I was willing to do. And if my companies took a huge hit and went to shit, I'd go back to doing it. That's why I like it a little bit. I've got builds character. But the motivation, I don't know, like, I look at it and I say, like, what the fuck else am I gonna do? I'm not gonna roll over. I won't ever do that. So it's just one of those things that, again, like going through rough times. I had a really nice upbringing. I had a really great family, but I wasn't handed anything. My dad didn't believe in that, even though he does very well for himself. He wanted me to learn from my own mistakes. He wanted me to know what it tastes like to eat a shit sandwich. That way I know how good filet mignon does taste. And those things, I believe, are real and they should happen in life. So, you know, as much as I want to make sure that my kids have a wonderful life, provide nice things for them, if I continually hand them things, don't teach them hard work, they'll end up, in my opinion, a little bit of a fuck bag. I mean, that's tough to think about your own kid, but at the same time, when you look around in reality, that's real. That will happen. So, yeah, a little bit of everything.
Do you think with Access Search being really based around you and being pretty much a hardcore motherfucker, do you think you'll sponsor athletes sort of the same? Like with Guy Cisterno leaving Centurion Labs, would you bring someone like Guy Cisterno who's got that sort of same
Sure.
attitude? 5'6", bald, salt lake beard, and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we'll always have that MO. I mean, you know, and that's a rough MO to have. But at the same time, I also believe that the 300-pound woman that wants to lose weight can be a hard-working motherfucker. Because, I mean, anybody that watches somebody lose like 150, 200 pounds, you're like, oh, fuck, I don't know if I could have did that. That really would have sucked. Nor would you almost probably never let yourself get that heavy as well. But with what our goal is to make sure that anybody that becomes a part of our company, front to back, left to right, has good intentions, is able to make sure they hold themselves well, even in really rough situations. And also, again, this part of the industry is just money. Money's got to be there for people because you know, they need to provide a living for their family, and they also anybody, even me, I thought I was worth more than I was at some point. And then there was times whenever I was worth a lot more than I was getting paid. So it's a little bit of everything. But no, we will stick to that MO. And the people we work with, we all are very selective people. Very selective. Because we want, like, they're going to represent me. They're going to represent us. We want people that are the fabric of a hardworking community. We want to make sure that it's positive. We want to make sure that people just, something that's a little bit different than everything that's been out there so far. I think we're achieving. I think we're getting there.
I believe in part 3 of steroids, drugs in the life of and all that, you know, you went through a detailed plan with your steroid supplementation as well as your nutrition, and by all means, like, it looks like a very reasonable plan, plus minus a few things that pretty much you can't get here, like GH, cheap enough.
Oh yeah.
But then again, I spoke to someone who used to train at O2 Gym who was in Australia, and he was like, you know, they're taking grams.
Yes.
And 750 is like a beginner dose for some people that are sort of getting on a few years on.
Oh,
So
yeah.
how important is a high dose versus risk and reward, or, you know, is it? individual.
Exactly what you said, risk and reward. You know, because at what point are you willing to say, fuck everything about me and I'm going after this?
Yeah.
That's scary. Because I want, everybody needs to make sure that they do the research. Me, like, I respond well. I am genetically gifted. You know, that was a very mild one. I mean, I've taken double the dose of that. And I mean, that's how you get to be 245, 250 pounds. So if I'm like, okay, so I'm 5'6", I'm 245 pounds, and this is what I'm taking. What I look like right now, I'm not that, but at 245 pounds, and I looked at myself, I'm like, yeah, okay, there's no way I'm making 212, but it's like, I look like this because of what I'm doing. Nutrition, training, supplementation, and gear use.
Yeah.
This is what I look like.
In that order, probably. In that order.
So then, okay, so now if I want to be 270 pounds, what do I have to do? Probably going to start doing some stuff I'm a little uncomfortable with. And then meanwhile, you see Big Randy, 290 pounds on stage, no fat, you're like, holy fuck. So those things do occur. And it's like, okay, so what's the reward? The reward is being known as Big Randy. Does anybody in here know how to pronounce his real name? He's gonna try. But that's what I mean, like, so he wanted that, that's what he wanted. And good for him, man, fucking right, dude. I love Jay Cutler. Getting to know him over the years, he actually told Bob and I, like, after about 6 months of All-American Roughneck, he's like, this company's gonna be big as fuck. I'm like, oh man, this is really cool, Jay, thanks, but I don't know. And, but going back, Jay was 320 pounds, and I remember seeing him, and I'm like, man, how do you get that big? And you watch his videos, and the dude's eating 10 times a day. I don't think I could eat 10 times a day. So it's like, man, like it's a combination of everything in that risk to reward, and no one knows the future. Bro, I'm 34 years old, I've been through a whole lot of shit. I've paid attention to everything that's happened, and I'm trying to do the best I can do with everything that I do. But I might walk out this door and get hit by a fucking bus. So I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy my life and I'm gonna do it my way. I think that's a lot of the mentality of the bodybuilders, just because they know what can occur. You know what I mean? And it's also like, okay, but like, fuck else am I gonna do? They might be like, I don't wanna do nothing else. They might not want to sit at a desk job. They might not want to do that. They're just like, I'm going to do this.
Get paid to train through sponsorships and
Right?
get sponsored in other ways as well. I know someone like that and who wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, right. So like I always joke that like if I make it to 60, I'm going to be fucking popping Viagra and fucking everything in sight. And I'm like, yeah, I made it. But it's but it's like, you know, if you. I mean, that's my mentality as well. That's why right now, like looking back, that's why I'm talking about this stuff, because I want to make sure that people do understand that like your life's going to be a little bit different if you go down that road. And you know, mine is, and I used to think that way. You know, I was in that. I was right there. And now that I'm here, I'm like, okay, like if I make it longer, it's fucking great. But along the way, I want to make sure I do good shit on my life, enjoy it all.
And I suppose as a father myself, it's about keeping our daughters, you know, safe and happy until they can move on with something else.
So as much as I said about having my ex going through all that stuff, the woman I have now, I kind of want to stick around a lot longer. I have a very, very awesome life. My kids are tremendous. My fiance is probably the nicest person I've ever met. So at that point, I look at the longevity of my life, and I say, man, I really want to make sure I enjoy every single thing I have and appreciate it all as well, because at the snap of fingers, things will be taken away from you. Everybody knows in here shit that happened. It's fucked. You know, and that's also that you got to take into consideration every little detail. I'm not saying I'm not a saint at home and not piss her off and work too much or do this or that, but that's just how things go. You know? It's good.
Just touching on what you said before about your ex-wife with substances, what were sort of some of the tactics that you used to separate that from training and not allow that to affect your training?
I have no fucking clue. That'd be a better question for Bob. Want to take that one? It was really difficult. It was really tough. Luckily at that time, I had Bob to talk to, because it's a lot of people like to pretend those things don't exist. They like to whenever it started becoming a severe problem, and it was affecting every single aspect of life, because as someone who was an enabler, I enabled it. She had money, she had everything she needed, and she was taking advantage of it. So at that point, I'm an enabler. I wanted to pretend that it didn't exist, because all it would do was cause problems in my life. And I didn't want problems in my life. I just wanted to go to the gym. I just wanted to make money. I just wanted to love my family. I wanted to be an all-American roughneck, but I couldn't, because someone was taking such advantage of me that I was like, holy fuck, and then it started affecting the kids. And whenever things like that started happening, I said, okay, I'm gonna have to do the really, really fucking hard thing now, and nut up, and fucking try and change your life. So spent fucking tens of thousands, probably almost $100,000 trying to help her. And at that point, money doesn't mean anything, because it's someone's life. And then that's also whenever I realized, I was like, ooh, this shit is so insane that I don't think I can save this person, because that person is in a spot that doesn't want to save it. And that's whenever things really got ugly, and then I had to separate everything. And that shit right there, I wish upon my worst enemy. And that's whenever I learned a whole lot about myself. I learned a whole lot about people. I learned a whole lot about everything, because, it was really ugly. And that makes me today really appreciate what I have, because that woman was with me when I had nothing, when I was in college. We had our first daughter together, and we evolved together. But that's also where I was like, okay, someone that was with me when I had no money, was with me whenever I was competing and becoming something, fulfilling my dreams, and then once I started making money, started taking advantage of everything that I was. That good-hearted person that my mother raised me to be, that guy started getting taken advantage of. And whenever I started getting taken advantage of, that started to mold me and say, maybe being this good person isn't such a good idea. Because people are going to fucking shit on you. They're going to take you for a fucking fool. Your kindness is weakness. This is somebody I spent my life with. At that point, that's whenever I was like, okay, got the fucking ties. I have my children, mine, I have them full time. So, and that was some rough shit. At that time, how did I separate and be able to motivate and keep training? The hate, those terrible feelings, like the deadlifts and gummy bears shirt. That fucking shirt right there is our #1 seller. We sell more of that fucking shirt than anything. That shirt, deadlifts and gummy bears. So whenever I was going through all that and had no clue how to handle myself, no fucking clue what was going on. The person I spent my life with was fucking addicted to drugs and could not control themselves. Was fucking up my kids, was fucking everything up. Life was like falling apart, yet it's so wonderful. I have a thriving business and all that shit's going on, courts, this, that. So I would go to the gym and I would deadlift until I could not deadlift anymore and eat gummy bears. Because they made me feel good. That was it, man. So I was like, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna fucking eat gummy bears, I'm gonna listen to heavy metal, and I'm gonna deadlift until the fucking cows come home. Because the weights are our therapy. Whenever you're having a bad day, you're like, I just wanna go to the fucking gym and then I'll be good. Shut the fuck up for 2 hours and go to the gym. So that's what I did, and that's where that shirt came from. So our biggest selling shirt that I see fucking everywhere comes from a spot that was bad. And it has become something I look at, I'm like, fucking right, dude. That means other people out there that are having a hard time, or they're like, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna go to the gym and deadlift and eat gummy bears. Oh, that's awesome. So the good comes out of it, but it was a time whenever I really appreciated that I had Bob to make sure that he was able to talk me through things, to keep me on a good spot. And again, that's that not passing judgment upon anybody, especially your friends.
How did you get involved with MassiveJoes? How did you guys sort of come together?
So I fucking hated him at first. No, that's not true. Take that out. No, being over in the States, you know who does business here in Australia. It's MassiveJoes and what's the other one? I don't remember. But no, you know who it does. And then when we started working with, whenever Axe and Sledge came to fruition, and Mike, he's the one that leads this up, and he does our international work, and we started having conversations with them, and they didn't say anything that other companies come at us want, you know, they want the brand, they want to be exclusive, they want that. And I'm not someone that likes to sign contracts and fucking feel all high and mighty and special. And Joe over here was the one that said, how about we just do business together and see where it leads? And it's led to this, and that's the type of shit that I like, because now I can shake Joe's hand and like know that he's telling me the truth. It comes back to that shit that I grew up in. I'll wipe my ass with a fucking contract. I've done it. And I'll tell people to fuck off because it doesn't mean anything. It's a bunch of legal bullshit. I would rather shake someone's hand and know that we can do business together and make sure that if he needs help, I'm going to be there. If I need help, he's going to be there. That's the type of business I like to do. And not everybody is like that in this industry. A lot of people aren't. And that's why, you know, I really like the relationship that we have. Coffee's here really good too. So,
will you start stocking All American Roughneck out here in Australia, or at Axe and Sledge apparel as well? Because fucking international shipping is a pain in the ass.
yeah, I heard that's a good thing, but we're getting there. That's something that we're going to be talking to Joe about doing, because we know it sucks. And like I said, you know, 3 years ago, if you would have told me Australians are going to want your All American Roughneck apparel, which we have our first All-Australian Roughneck shirt. We did that one there. We came over with it. We know it was Neve's birthday, so we make sure he got something too. But yeah, that's something that we're getting into. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey Seth, fun question for you. Which one of these scares you more? One day waking up, looking down, not being able to see your pecker, or the day that your daughter start dating?
Or wait, what was the last one? Because I like seeing my dick.
What scares you more, not being able to see your dick one morning, or the thought of your daughter's dating?
Oh man. Well, I want to see my dick every morning. I can do it today. Yes, you're still there. Good shit. No, the dating thing, my daughter's, you know, so my oldest is a lot like me. You know, I don't really control my mouth around anything. I don't view it as much as like, oh my God, my kid's gonna swear, something like that. They know that it's bad, they don't. My oldest does play Fortnite, and she has a headset on, and every now and then I hear her say some really bad things that I really regret saying, because she says them in the correct context. It's like, oh man, fuck. But I think whenever she starts dating, I'm more worried about the guys. I'm like, I sure hope you brought your wallet and you're ready to get your balls busted. Like, put it this way, like Bob back here, whenever he would come into town, because Bob used to live in Philadelphia, which is about 4 hours away from Pittsburgh. So once or twice a month, Bob and Jay, our guy that edits all the videos, they would come into town, take pictures, videos, we'd pack orders for releases, all this shit with All American Roughneck. And my daughter would call them Uncle Bob and Aunt Jay. And it's like so my 10-year-old is fucking making fun of a grown man. You know, she's a ball buster, so, but my youngest, you know, my fiance is with her constantly. So she has turned into a fucking diva. That's the one I'm worried about. I'm terrified of that. You know, so, but no, the oldest I'm good with. She'll be able to handle herself. Yeah.
With you being you, did you have any other sort of names for the flavors? Like you got unicorn blood and big melons and stuff like that. Did you have any other sort of different names you were thinking of naming at the time?
One's coming out?
Oh, if you just did parcels, like you got unicorn blood, they could have been like fanny fart or something like that.
Yeah, we did, so the unicorn blood thing.
What was that one?
It was really bad.
What was that one you said?
Fanny
Fanny
fart.
fart.
So write that down. So no, like whenever we came out with this, we have the Axe and Sledge. We wanted to run synonymous with All American Roughneck with the Axe and Sledge with the silhouette of the American flag, and we wanted to keep it that way and use names like Fuel Pump, which is related to a vehicle or fuel pump, and We wanted ignition switch and the grind's your everyday product because we live in the grind. Demo day because when you take that, you want to fuck shit up. Like it's demo time, all that. So we had this hardcore blue collar feel to it all, but then whenever we were in the beginning, Pat, he helps, he's the one that handles all the manufacturing side of things, and we did blind taste testing of all the products, and I was like, they gotta fucking taste good. Like you can't, because today with technology, like you're able to do crazy great flavors if you use a little higher end ingredients. Some stuff is hard to mask just because of the amount you have to. So he brought in all these different packets of everything, the formulations that we had, and we're like, let's taste test them all and see what we like. And the one, I was like, man, like, it's a nostalgic taste. I was like, I don't know what it is. And it was rainbow sherbet. I'm like, we can't call it rainbow sherbet. That's way too gay. So then I was like, man, like, and my 5-year-old loves fucking unicorns. And like, unicorns were big. They're all over a room, this and that. I'm like unicorn piss, right? And then Bob's like, nope, not gonna happen. He's like, no fucking way, dude. I'm like, I don't know, what are we gonna call it, And that's where he was like, unicorn blood. And I'm like, fucking way better than unicorn piss. And it has turned out to be, because it's, such a unique flavor. We nailed it with everything. But this is where me being a kid, that stupid part, that fun part, that entertaining part comes out. And I'm like, why don't we just call it really cool shit, really cool names, like scorpion venom. No, it's mixed berry. It's like, it has like a great Jolly Rancher taste. You can't call things Jolly Rancher because you'll get sued. So we're like, let's give it a really cool name. Scorpion venom. And at that point, we're like, do the labels, where it comes in that Mike handles all the labels, Bob does some artwork with everything, he runs All American Roughneck and all the cool designs that he and I do together. It's like, I want everybody that works for us to be able to put their spin on it, put some of their creativity, their passion into what you guys see. So like Swamp Beast, it's probably my least favorite flavor, but it's a big seller because it's unique, it's clean, it's refreshing, and everybody else loves it way more than I do. I don't know how it's possible.
Athletic-based decisions that have really kind of changed significantly the direction of your life. And I see a lot of times people are hesitant to make those decisions for one of 3 reasons. The first one is fear of failing, the second one is other people's opinions, and the third one is self-doubt.
Yeah.
How did you get through those 3 things, those 3 obstacles when making those difficult decisions?
Good call, it's a good question. I think the big thing was self-doubt. Like everybody has doubt about everything. And it starts like at a young age going through puberty, like asking a girl out. Like do you ever give advice to a young kid about that right now? As an older guy, do you ever give advice to a kid about asking a girl out? You're like, bro, just go do it. And the kid's like, I don't know. And it's because that doubt got into his head. And if you have a little bit of a crack in your personality, your character, and doubt gets in there, it will fucking wreak havoc on your brain. Bro, I've doubted myself with everything I've ever done. It keeps me up at night, fucks with me a little bit. But at that point, I've also learned at that time, just kick it out. Because if I don't do it, then what am I going to do? I'm going to live with regret. And I do not want to live with regret. I've lived with regret before. I didn't like it for that little bit of time that I did. So, and as it goes for the fear of failing, fuck yeah, dude, I have failed. I did look shitty on stage at one point. I did go up on stage and felt like I was naked because it was horrible. And you go and you just feel horrible inside. But at that point, you also realize that, like, no matter what someone says, no matter what occurs, you still have to wake up the next morning and go to work. You still have to do it. What's your other choice? Not? That means that you lost. Well, it's okay to fail or to lose, but it's not okay to give up. Like, and it's like, well, is it 1 day? Is it 3 days? No, motherfucker, it might be a long time. But that's the stuff that you let mold you into who you become. Like every day you have a decision. You can either wake up and find things that lift you up every single morning and go be the best motherfucker you can be, or you can stay yay high and walk through life and feel like you're a nothing. You're not enough. Because there are people in your life right now that depend on you being the best motherfucker you can be. And if you are that person, man, if you are the best person you can be at every single aspect of your life, you become one powerful motherfucker. So, Joe asked, do I still doubt myself? Sure. It'll come about, it'll bite me in the ass every now and then. Oh, I went for broke with everything that I did. Things were really bad at times. And I fortunately made it through because I am not self-made. That whole self-made that you hear, people are like, I'm fucking self-made. Suck my dick. No, you're not. You're not self-made. I have a team of people here that I can rely on, they can lean on, and I can lean on them. And it's like, you can't be self-made. You need people to make things right. And you know, I've been fortunate enough to be able to do this, but like, you know, with doubt, kick it out of your head. Fail, who cares? Well, at least you know you tried. Fuck. You gotta know you tried. I don't want to be older in my life and not know that I experienced it. We were invited to come to Australia. You know what my first response was? Nope, not going. 25 hours on a fucking plane? Nope, not doing it. But then, you know, after thinking about it for 5 minutes, you're like, I always wanted to eat a kangaroo. There's a lot of cool people there. They call me a cunt and it's a compliment. You know, and then at that point I'm like, man, like, I'm never gonna get to travel the fucking world any other way. So that doubt quickly got kicked out. I was like, let's go. It's gonna be cool. And it did, but no, it's you know, it's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. You know, I don't really care what other people think about me. It was kind of weird. Bob knows. Every time we get like a shitty YouTube comment of somebody that said that would make fun of me or call me a name or this or that, I'd get mad for a second. I'm like, it's kind of a good thing though. That means that someone that doesn't know who I am is now going to watch my shit. And me having the personality growing up in a wood shop, like growing up in a wood shop at 13 years old, I just got fucked with to no end. So I was like, I'm going to fuck with them back. So over time, we now have people that are complete fucking trolls watch our stuff and comment stupid shit all the time, and I'm like, they like us. We have accomplished some serious shit in this industry. But yeah, no, I got thick skin too. Like I said, I made a lot of mistakes. I blamed a lot of other people for my problems. I've been stabbed in the back. I stabbed people in the back. I fucked up, made big mistakes. You name it, bro, I've done it. And that's how I got to this point of who I am in my life today. I'm here because I realize that, you know, you can make mistakes and still become a good person. That's why, like, you know, you hear the phrase that we have, live life, become better. But you gotta live life. You gotta try. As a teenager, like we said, with guys telling young kids, bro, just go ask her out. What's the worst thing what's the worst thing she's gonna say? No? Well, yeah, then I'll feel really bad about myself. Who fucking cares? You know, if you want to go try something, you're 22 years old and you're thinking of doing something, bro, I'd probably say 22 is the time to do it, not 45 when you got your whole entire family behind you and everybody waiting, or everybody with you in this, and you're like this. So, oh, go for it. If you fall, who cares? Whenever people say, do you remember that time you did that dumb thing? And you're like, yeah, at least I tried, motherfucker. You know, everybody told me with All-American Roughneck, you're gonna sell t-shirts. Yeah, motherfucker, I'm gonna sell t-shirts. But it's not just a t-shirt, it's a feeling. It's something that every motherfucker in here got inside. And they're gonna be able to pull something good out of it. And it has. So, yeah. Doubt is a motherfucker. It will fuck you up. And it still hits me today. But I'm pretty confident in everything. But that doesn't mean that it won't creep in. I gotta get it out. Make sure I have a good day. Do something good.
And then come back and supplements. Was it because you didn't like the direction bodybuilding was going and you wanted to be the fork in the road? Or was it just for a self-accomplishment also?
Everything. My life at that point was shit. I thought that my home life was going so bad it was because of bodybuilding. And then on top of that, bodybuilding was going very bad for me. Muscle Tech was an awesome sponsor. They were fucking phenomenal. I told them they wanted to renew my contract, and I told them I wanted to step away. They were like, why? I'm like, because I don't like this anymore. And they're like, well, how about we just pay you money and you can like lift weights and like we can do videos and like you travel for us. I'm like, no, I don't want it anymore. So it was really nice to hear that because we had a good relationship. Muscular development, whenever I did Sarasota 212 show, it was after Toronto and they told me to drop and I fucking ran my body into the ground. I signed a very large contract with them. I signed a contract for, I believe it was like $5 grand a month. So $60,000 contract. It was nice to have, along with my, Muscle Tech contract. It was also for $5,500 a month. So I was a 25, 26-year-old kid making over 100 grand, loving life, young family, everything's great, and to a certain extent. But then, like, competing was very difficult in home life. My ex didn't like it, but it was what fed us, so we made do. And then whenever I lost Toronto, shit really fell apart. And then I was told to do the Sarasota 212 show. It's like, okay, I'll do it. Ran my body shit to bed. Was in the hospital for 3 days afterwards. And while I was in the hospital, I got a letter from Steve Bleckman, the owner of Muscular Development, that said, we're canceling your contract. So even though I signed the contract, and he signed the contract, he had more money than I did. He had more everything than I did. And he was able to take away $60,000 away from me, snap of the fucking fingers. So that's why I got that bad taste in my mouth, and I was like, okay, I come back, I'm gonna make all you motherfuckers eat my shit. I'm gonna do things my way. I'm not gonna have nobody tell me what to do, I'm not gonna have anybody fucking, no, I'm not gonna hold nothing over my head. And it's a different way of thinking, and I think a lot of people wish they could, but when I say that killer instinct that I had for competing has turned into business, it's into business because I want to do good shit in this industry. I don't want to be a Steve Bleckman. Fuck him. That's one person I won't talk nicely about. Because I don't need him. And that's a part of me that isn't maybe that little part that I wish was a little bit better, but also I know he's done it to a slew of other people, and it's tough to be able to know that those type of people exist. And me pay respect or homage to him, no. That's why I dislike contracts and handshakes. That's why.
Beautiful.
We good?
Awesome. That's the last question, guys. Round of applause.